Hello class, today I will be your substitute teacher. My name is Niklaus Razin. Today we will be talking about temperance, the temperance movement of reform. All right class, before we get started, let's take attendance. Is there a little T-Bone?
T-Bone present.
Is there a little Wu-Tang?
Here.
Today we will be learning about the temperance movement. Open up your Chromebooks and go to the Google Doc in Schoology and go to the crash course video and watch it and then complete the worksheet.
Hi, my name is John Green, and today I'm with my sidekick,
Hank.
The temperance movement denotes moderation and restraint in behavior. In the early 19th century, this meant moderation in drinking alcohol, specifically liquor, with a high rate of alcohol consumption, which was about 5 gallons of hard liquor per person in the year 1820. Reformers began targeting alcohol as a cause of social disorder, and temperance became one of the most popular social reformations in the early 1800s. The movement wished to ban alcohol since they considered it to be a disease. They preached the negative effects of alcoholism. Also, alcohol was socially accepted, however, drunkenness was not. They were partially successful in their efforts because eventually the 18th Amendment meant a nationwide prohibition of the sale, transportation, and manufacturing of alcohol in the early 20th century.
How bad was the problem actually? Well, drinking during the colonial times was a central aspect of life. It wasn't uncommon to take a swig of whiskey in the morning instead of coffee or orange juice. During meals, beer and cider were very common, even with children partaking due to no legal minimum age, nor social reforms. Farmers would often bring their jug of alcohol in the morning with them on the way to the fields. Even employers of factories would give their employees liquor on the job. Also, political candidates bribed voters with alcohol on election day. Not even the Continental Army was safe in this incident. With its troops receiving a daily ration of 4 ounces of whiskey or rum a day, it wasn't until 1830 the alcohol consumption would begin to decline due to the temperance movement. From 1830 to 1840, the per capita consumption of absolute alcohol, which is a measurement of actual alcohol levels, decreased from 7.10 to 3.10 gallons, which is a very big decrease. This image by Nathaniel Currier warns that moderate drinking will lead to binge drinking. Currier produced at least 30 prints during the temperance movement in an effort to encourage moderation or abstinence from alcoholic beverages. Eventually, due to the popularity of this idea of restraint, New York established a temperance union in 1808, and by 1830, 6,000 temperance groups had been established throughout the United States. At the beginning, the man in the photo shares a drink with a friend. His life deteriorates as he consumes more and more alcohol, and finally ends his life due to the problems brought on by drinking. His wife and child, seen in the middle of the ark, weep as they walk away from their burning home. These types of prints were especially popular with women and those working to improve the moral climate of the country.
The first person from the medical field to argue that alcoholism was a disease was Benjamin Rush. He targeted heavy consumptions of distilled spirits, especially liquor and bourbon, and etc. He believed it could destroy a person's health and eventually lead to death. With the support of his friends that he had in the religious affairs, Rush and others were able to establish the first local temperance society, which was founded in 1808. And in 1826, the organization known as the Alcohol Temperance Society was founded in Boston and Massachusetts. By 1830, the year in which alcohol consumption plummeted significantly. The movement had over 1.5 million members. The organization had a real-world impact. Another contributor to the plummet of consumption was the end of employer and politician supplied alcohol. Employers stopped giving employees alcohol on the job, and politicians put an end to bribing voters with alcohol.
The Knights of Father Matthew, the name of a Catholic temperance society, was founded in 1838 by Theobald Matthew, better known as Father Matthew. His organization grew throughout Ireland, and an estimated 7 million took the pledge of abstinence under his influence. He began his work in the U.S. administering the Temperance Pledge in over 300 cities and towns, with a total estimate of 500,000 people.
On April 2nd, 1840, William Mitchell, David Hodge, Charles Anderson, George Steer, Bill McCurdy, and Tom Campbell formed a temperance fellowship. The six were alcoholics and met at Chase's Tavern on Liberty Street in Baltimore, Maryland. They believed that while relying on each other and sharing their experiences with others, they could abstain from alcohol. The group, known as Washingtonians, taught sobriety and preceded Alcoholics Anonymous, which would be founded in 1935. Members sought out other alcoholics and discussed their negative experiences with over-consuming alcohol and how the society had helped them achieve sobriety. With the passage of time, the society became a prohibitionist organization in that they promoted legal and mandatory prohibition of alcoholic beverages. The society was inspired from Timothy Shea Arthur's 6 Nights with the Washingtonians and his 10 Nights in the Barroom. The group later became extinct.
Neil Doe was a Quaker born in Portland, Maine, who would later in life be known as the Napoleon of Temperance or the Father of Prohibition. From a young age, Doe believed alcohol was the root of many societal problems, and he sought to ban it throughout legislation. From the president of Maine Temperance Union, he was elected mayor of Portland. Soon enough, due to Doe's efforts, Maine banned the sale and production of alcohol. This prohibition was known as a Maine law. Maine law, however, did not come without public outcry. Doe's opponents rioted, and he ordered the state militia to fire into the crowd, and he was not reelected after that.
John's brother. In conclusion, the temperance movement was a successful reform, fading in popularity and resurfacing over the course of 2 centuries. In the first half of the 19th century, reformers taught abstinence from alcohol at young ages, informed the public of the negative effects of alcohol, and promoted legislation that banned the sale and production of alcohol. Many temperance leaders, such as Father Matthew and Benjamin Rush, were instrumental in forming temperance societies that would generate pledges of abstinence in millions of people. This reform would also much later become the basis for the 18th Amendment, which, until the 21st Amendment, would ban the sale and manufacturing of alcohol.